Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing good. And this is the first introduction to the English channel. I will try to make it very short and very simple, to the point, precise. Uh, as far as I'm concerned, you already know me from ex Muslims from Pakistan channel, that is obviously in Hindi and in Urdu. So we thought that we should increase our reach for the audience, and there are many people who who want to talk in the language which most of the people can understand. Because if you go outside India and Pakistan, even in Bangladesh, Iran, if you go to UAE, Saudi, Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, there are people who can communicate in English, but not in the language like Hindi or Urdu. So we thought that there is a need for this since we are spreading the light. So, as you guys know me, my name is Yazeed Shah. Of course, that is a made up name, not my real name, because of the security concerns and safety reasons. I decided not to show my identity on Facebook or on YouTube because when you leave your religion and become an apostate, so there is every likelihood that people will follow you, hunt you down, and you know what Muslims can do if they find you. So that was the reason I decided not to show my identity, and none of the members will show the identity on the other channel as well. I grew up in a lower middle class family with a religious dominance. My father was a very strict religious person. He used to pray 5 times a day, and I never saw him skipping any pray, no matter if it's in the morning, cold, winters, like whatever the reason is, it was raining, snowing. Like he used to pray regularly, and I never saw him skipping a prayer actually, from uh, from morning to the night. So he was expecting the same from the family. When I turned 7, of course, he told me that you have to learn how to pray. Uh, at that time, I was reading Quran, and one of our family members who were teaching us, like me and my sister, we were the only 2 kids in the family. So we used to go to their home and learn Quran, like only like how to recite, and not the translation, of course, which it was not needed because we thought that if you can really read Quran and recite it, then of course you get you good deeds for that, which is called sawab in Urdu. So when I turned 7, of course, my father decided that he has to tell me how to say pray. So he used to uh, he used to teach me, and of course I was following religion. Being a kid, it is really an enjoyment for you, like to learn new things. So if you are learning how to pray, then it is interesting, of course. But with the passage of time it becomes boring. But when you're really a kid, obviously you find some interest in that. So my father was very strict with like offering prayers. Like he used to tell my mom as well that you don't say prayer, because my mom was not really religious person in terms of prayers. Of course she was religious, being a faithful religious person. She had strong beliefs and faiths on God, on Allah and Quran, the book, of course. But most importantly, like, the book was considered a divine book, and it was considered like a blessing in the house, and it was wrapped up in a very fancy cloth, and there were some frills attached to that cloth, and it was placed on the high part of the cabinet so that nobody can touch it. Like, there was no dust on it, and it was really properly placed so that we really know that this is something very important. So this is the short introduction. I don't want to go into detail. I have already shared my story on my channel as well, and it was also shared on ex-Muslim Sahil's channel. So if you are interested, you can go there. If you understand Urdu and Hindi, maybe someday I will regain the courage and the bravery to share my story one more time, which is very highly unlikely because if you want to share your story, it requires a great deal of courage and strength. So right now I don't have it, of course, and that's not the purpose of the video, obviously. So I myself have traveled across the globe. I have visited so many countries in my life, and when I was traveling, of course, I gained experiences from different countries. I met so many nationalities in my life, and I was, of course, a follower of Islam. Grew up in a Brelvi, in a Sunni family, where they consider Muhammad the utmost important icon of the religion, and he is above everything. Of course, we all know that, and we believe that God has made this world specifically, exclusively for Muhammad, and we used to respect him a lot. Like we considered him a nur, the God has given him so much qualities. He didn't have his shadow, and there was no, he was the cleanest person in the world. He was the most honest person in the world, and he used to teach his wife like nobody can do that. And he's called Rahmatul lil Alameen, like he was the blessing for the humankind. And there is no other person equal to Muhammad or compared to Muhammad. In my life, of course, being being an ex-Muslim, everybody wants to know, like, what were the trigger points. Like every person has a trigger point. Like I call it a tripwire. Tripwire is something like a click, where, of course, one click in your brain triggers everything, and then a new journey started. You really want to dig deep when you really have some trigger effect in your brain, and you have a certain point which clicks in your brain, and you say, oh, there is something wrong with this. There is something wrong with the book. There is something wrong with the divine guidance. There is something wrong with the personality. Like, being a child, I used to hear these stories that this is the best religion in the world, and this is the best book in the world, and this book came from heaven, and this is the divine guidance. But when once you dig deep and you know that the truth is really different from the fiction, and like it's an illusion, of course, because it's all made up story. Like, you are brainwashed from the childhood, and you are told the stuff which is not even relevant to the religion. And there are so many things which you were told in your childhood which do not even belong to the religion, which, of course, we will discuss when the channel grows bigger and bigger. Eventually, I came to know that Quran is not a book of God. So it's a man-made book. Why I consider it a man-made book? That's going to be the main purpose of the channel. We are going to dig deep into this matter, how I think that Quran is not a book of God, based on the context of the Quran, based on the text of the Quran, based on the historical evidences of the Quran and Quran itself. Like, we have gathered some information because we are running a different channel at the same time. And then, of course, the life of Muhammad was very important. It created a significant role in my journey of being an ex-Muslim. So I figured out somehow that Muhammad is portrayed as the best human being in the world, which is not the case. That's not the reality. So if you do all the hypotheses, and if you do all the research and analysis, so because I'm a student, always I consider myself a student. I'm a PhD professor, of course. I teach in universities. I give lectures. So when I'm doing something, of course, I need to research on that topic, on that matter, and I know how to do a research. So when I have an information, of course, with me. Like, I had Quran in front of me, I had life of Muhammad in front of me. So I had to do a research on these two things. So I figured out that there are some black holes in this information. History is telling you something else. So there is no established history with respect to Quran and Muhammad, which we will discuss in detail. And then of course, when you become an ex-Muslim, you face lots of problems. Of course, you face backlash because you, being an extrovert, obviously, I want to share the my problems with somebody. Of course, my friends, my family. I tried to share with my sister, and she snubbed me, of course, and she was not interested in my story. And she said, "No, I don't want to listen to it because they are so blindfolded with faith, like they don't want to hear anything against their religion. Even if you are telling them the truth, they don't want to hear it." So even I discussed with one of my friends, and they said, "No, I don't. We don't want to listen to your stories, and you can keep it to yourself. And we don't even want to know the truth." And then they told me that, "Have you read that book? Have you read that book? Have you read that book?" And I said, "Yeah, I read it. What is so special about it? Can we talk about it?" "No, I don't want to talk about it." So then obviously, if you are being snubbed on every occasion and every point, then of course it's really mind-boggling for you, and you consider that, oh, there is something fishy, like people really don't want to talk. I understand, belief, faith is something which people do not question, but obviously when you research on something and you come up with so many questions which are unanswered, so then your mind does not accept these things. Being a rational person, being a person who always considers research the most important thing in his life. So this is the purpose of the channel. Like, we really want to spread the word to whole world, of course, wherever our channel goes. It depends on the reach of the channel, it depends on the audience of the channel, it depends on you guys, how much you share, like, and subscribe this channel. The reason of English channel is the same as the reason of the Urdu channel. There will be some differences, obviously. We will be focusing more on the historical perspective of the religion. We'll be focusing more on Quran and Muhammad, because it's very easy for me to do a research in English rather than doing a research in English and then translating into Urdu, because my Urdu is not really good. Of course, there are people like Abdullah. He speaks really good Urdu, and I'm very impressed, of course. But when there are few words in Urdu which I don't understand, and I have to have to uh, search for the dictionary and go for the meanings of the words, which is of course a hassle for me. So it's better that I have done so much research in English so that I can put this research on the channel so that you guys can really get advantage. And if you have questions, you can always ask me. And I would like Muslims to join the calls and tell us what is wrong with our content, and they can question us. But of course, we always accept questions with solid evidences and research. No superficial and subjective information will be accepted. So, as I told you that the main important part was the Quran, of course. As I told you that I consider myself like lucky that I was able to research on Quran, and I consulted so many historians in my life, which I will share with you later. And I figured out that somehow Islam has not gone through the scrutiny like other religions have gone, like Christianity, Judaism, or whatever. But Islam can consider itself a lucky religion that it did not go like strict scrutiny as the other religion have gone. The reason being, maybe, when somebody tries to dig deep into the religion, especially Islam, he gets life threats, and there are people after him, and there are examples available which we will discuss time to time in our channel. So if you see the history, there is a complete darkness in Islam. You can't find anything. Like, you need to you even like you search for Muhammad's life, you'd find little to no information before 40 years. So this is what Islam is. So we will be focusing on the historical evidences, on the archaeological evidences, on the established history, because, as I said before in the beginning of this speech, on the beginning of this like video, that Islam lacks established history. It does not really fulfill the parameters of the established history. If you ask Muslims, they will every like If you talk to two Muslims at the same time, they cannot stick to a conclusion or consensus together. So, what do you expect from the majority of the Muslims? That's the problem. They are divided with information, they are divided with sects, they are divided with the books. And if you ask them questions, one person will give you a different answer, the other person will give you a different answer. So, this is what we are going to do, that we are going to ask mind-boggling questions, put them in the code and see how they respond. That's what we're going to do. Then one major part of the channel will be to raise voice for ex-Muslims. This is very important, guys. We want to bring this channel to the international forum and a platform where people can really listen to, like our voices, and then know what is the problem which ex-Muslims are having in Pakistan. We have already discussed that on our Urdu channel, and we are going to do that here time and again, because this is the channel which will give us a broader reach, and we will be able to touch more people who can understand the problems of ex-Muslims in Pakistan. People know
Uh,
minorities.
and
Yes.
Yazid, I think this is very important for us as being Pakistanis, because I know we have left Islam uh, for how many years? I mean, it doesn't matter that for how many years we have been out of the fold of Islam. But the thing is, if you look at in the scenario of Pakistan, it is very important for people like us to come in public and talk about it, because there's a veil of ignorance, secrecy about Islam, that gives this religion a special kind of status, some sort of a special power for others, because they see it as a mystery and they think that, okay, it's some kind of exotic type of religious thought that we don't have to think about it, or we don't have to question it. But if you look deeply, if you research, if you uh, counter uh, if you counter it with the objectivity and with the with the with the true historical picture that can be created only if you look deeply into the uh, origins of religion and that time from which Islam has came out to be a, you know uh, nowadays it's like a second biggest religion after Christianity. So it's a very important thing for people like us to come out in public and talk about it. We think that I personally think that religion is a private matter, but it's okay that I, due to my personal interests or my personal journey, that I left the religion that I'm born in. But the thing is, in the scenario of Pakistan, uh, Islam is very. Uh, I mean, I want to say that Islam is very crucial uh, uh, in hindering the progress of our country. So that's why we think that we should come out in public and talk about it.
Yes. Very well said, Abdullah. That's so true. That Islam is the hindrance with respect to development of the countries, even in Pakistan. Like, if you see Muslims across the globe, they bring religion in every matter of their life, and we always say that that's really like a personal choice. But these Muslims consider privilege, liberty, to bring religion in every aspect of their life. Like even if they are eating, they are shitting, they are talking, they are going to work, they are playing, they are whatever they are doing, like I really don't understand why they have this habit of bringing their religion in every aspect of their life, which is really ununderstandable. So maybe somehow they will understand, but it is very highly unlikely that that's gonna understand. And that's what we're gonna do on this channel, to really question them, to really bring them out of their comfort zone, which they don't want to, and ask them serious questions, really serious questions. So then, as I said, like awareness among the people, we're going to do that, raising voice for the ex-Muslims, especially who are being the aggrieved ones in Pakistan. Especially, they have lots of problems in Pakistan. They are suppressed kind of people in Pakistan, because being an ex-Muslim, you have no life, honestly speaking. And like if you say you leave your religion, then of course you die. You become a murtad, you become an apostate. Doing blasphemy, talking against religion is something else. That is really a different topic to talk about. But if you really leave Pakistan, then you have no life. If somehow, okay, for instance, you left your religion and you want to live your life peacefully in a solitary confinement, is that possible? No, it's not. It's not possible. Okay, how much an introvert you can be? You cannot confine yourself in a shell for how long? Maybe for 1 month, 3 months? Not for a year. You will die. You will die from the inside, because you want to talk about it, you want to be outspoken about it, and you want to tell somebody that you left this religion. And you somehow one day you will discuss it with your friends and families. What is the result then? Somehow some lunatic is going to find it out, and he's going to kill you, slash your throat. This is what is happening. So if the people are saying in Pakistan that if you leave religion, and oh, you want to leave religion and you don't talk about it, and you don't do blasphemy, and you don't say bad words about Muhammad, that's not true. That's really not true. If you leave religion and somehow if someone knows it, he's going to kill you. He's going to kill you, and that's the punishment. It's in the law. It's in your religion, it's in your books. You can't deny it. So, this is what we are going to do. We are going to tell people across the globe the problems which ex Muslims are facing in Pakistan, especially the atheists. So, this is the purpose of the channel, main purpose of the channel. So, that's it for today. And Abdullah, you want to say something else, or I should wrap it up?
Yes, I think we have started our Urdu channel uh, for this purpose, that we can talk about how what was our journey leaving Islam, and what has what were the reasons, and what were the, you know, uh, things that we thought that I think that's enough from my side.
Thank you,
We'll
Abdullah.
come again with a topic or something.
Of
Then we'll
course,
talk.
that was only the introduction, of course, guys. And thank you very much that you came to the show. You guys are always there, even it's we are doing stream in Urdu, English, whatever. You come here every day, so that's what we're gonna do. We will do one stream in a week. To start with, of course, we will stretch it to 3 to 5 hours. We will see how it goes. So that's what we're going to do in the beginning of the channel for 3 to 6 months, and then we will see the results, of course. Uh, we can stretch it for two days in a week, but to start with, it's going to be one day in a week. And as I said, we will be talking about Quran. We'll be talking about the life of Muhammad. So we need your support, guys. You have been supporting us, so I would like you to share this channel, like this channel, subscribe this channel, and share it with your friends and families, especially in India, because we have a huge audience in India there. We don't know when our channel is going to face the the backlash from the government of Pakistan. Maybe they will ban it in 3 months or 6 months. We never know that. But eventually, sooner or later, it's going to be banned in Pakistan. But till then, we want you to share this as long as you can, as more as you can, so it goes bigger and bigger. in 3 to 6 months. So we hope for the best, and that's why we have started this channel. So thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you so much for coming to the show today, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye, guys.
Thank you. Good night.